called me a prick, and I've gone back to him and said, who are you fucking calling a prick? And, you know, he's come back and said, I don't like you. Well, fair enough, you don't like me. But all I've done is been honest and give constructive criticism on what you've done since losing to Ruiz and Usyk and where you're going now. You're fighting Dubois. There's no need to get personal. No need to start on a man's hooter. It's looking pretty good, by the way. And then you've got your £10 and your £20 notes rolled out on your bed. He's saying,
get on my level. Get on my level.
Levels. It's all about levels. Where's the humble guy gone? Where's remain humble? Stay humble.
Remain humble. You can relate. And as I said, your wealth is in character, not in material objects.
Listen, you talk about levels. He says, I'm not on his level. But he's talking about money. Fair play to him. He's made a fortune. He's smashed it. But let's talk about levels in terms of legacy and fights and career wins. A little fat kid from Mexico made him quit, for fuck's sake. He spat his gum shield out and was looking around looking for the corner, looking for people in the crowd to help him out. He got punched from pillar to post. The referee's looking at him. Do you want to carry on? Do you want to keep fighting? And what's he done? He's quit on his feet. That is embarrassing. Something the Cobra would never ever do. And you can take that to the bank.
Those are the extended words of Carl the Cobra Froch as he goes in on Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua called him a prick. Now, I did a video yesterday, and I did ask the question on why didn't Carl ask him why. But he did, okay? And this is part of what this video is to discuss and explain. And AJ is saying, because you just are. I think that was AJ's just a way of saying he doesn't like Carl Froch. If I was AJ, I would really go into depth. Like, okay, well, first you did this, second you did that, third you did this. You know what I mean? Like, put together something tangible, something explainable instead of you just are. You know, for me, you know, it's almost like it's past talking, but then if it's past talking, why are we talking? You know what I mean? Because it's like Carl Froch was like, well, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? And it's almost like, okay, to me, people, AJ calling Carl Froch a prick is just like the beginning of something that's going to end in physical altercation. Okay? These are fighting words, really. You call a man a prick, as you guys told me over in the UK, shout out to you guys, boom. You don't call anybody a prick. And by the word, why, you know, prick means little, you know, Little Johnson, right? So yeah, that's a very offensive thing. You know, we say it over here, but we don't really use it as, you know, prick means just a jerk or an asshole, really. But yeah, back to Carl Froch. Carl Froch was like, you know, why are you, what happened to the humble guy? You know, and one thing about last year, and I did have to counterpunch AJ, you know, his persona did change, didn't it? If you think about Anthony Joshua and that stay hungry, stay humble, you know, that whole persona, it did look like something that was really scripted at this point, because you go from that, then you go to, hey, it's all about money, like he said in the Jermaine Franklin, I think it was the Jermaine Franklin fight or the Dillian White fight that was supposed to happen. I'm not sure. But whichever fight it was, he said that, you know what, I am doing this for the money. You know what I mean? It wasn't legacy. It wasn't character. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. And see what AJ did, he allowed to, shout out to Johnny Nelson. He said he fell for the trap. See, here's the thing. You don't do anything that's contradicting and expect someone like Carl Froch that already been talking shit about you to not say anything about it. You know, look, your haters, okay, you know, are your motivators, okay? They're the ones that motivate you the most in any scenario, because they're going to be the ones that report everything that you say if it sounds kind of fishy, if you're doing something good, if you're doing something bad. But I think what Carl Froch does, he mentions the good things. I got a brother like that. He will mention like shitty things you do, but he'll also mention, you know, the good things you do as well. Okay. You know, like he will be a hater and a participator all raveled into one. And I think that's Carl Froch. I think Carl Froch, you know, has his own personal problems with AJ because he was a mentor with AJ, as you guys heard me explain in depth yesterday. You know, with him and Rob McCracken and where he felt that Anthony Joshua's career should go, of course, behind him. And in anything, it's almost like Floyd, Money Mayweather, you know, I think with Adrian Broner. I mean, Adrian Broner was only cool, or he was cool with Adrian Broner as long as Adrian Broner didn't look like a threat to his own legacy. Well, in Carl Froch and Anthony Joshua's case, okay, AJ, you know, far seeded past all of that, you know. So yeah, he is now an enemy in the minds of the legacy that has been surpassed. Okay, that's the word I was looking for. He surpassed Carl Froch. So knowing that, Carl Froch doesn't like that, and that's always going to burn him, and you know it's going to be permanent. Why? Because Carl Froch is retired. So if anybody that does something past your expectations, you know, especially depending on what type of mindset and personality you have, you know, it's always going to bother you. And I think that bothers Carl. You know what I mean? But that doesn't stop Carl from also saying the truth. But the thing is, the things that he's using are tools. I mean, sometimes the tools are truth. Because then what happened to, you know, he'd get on my level, talking about money, you know, and he's like, well, he can't get on your level, AJ. You've surpassed him. And if I was AJ, I really wouldn't worry about what Carl Froch has to say. It's like Johnny Nelson said, it's basically you're falling under power of someone's opinion. Okay? And you did that the minute you typed that shit out and hit the send. Okay? That's what happened. And you know what Carl did? Carl used it as a way to create revenue off of you. So that's what we're dealing with right now. You guys tell me what you think of Carl the Cobra Froch going in on Anthony Joshua. And before I forget, he started talking about the little fat Mexican kid that made him quit. He spit out his gum shield and he quit on his feet. And let me counterpunch to you that for a minute. I mean, you listen. I still, and that's always going to be contagious. It's always going to be that way. But I think AJ, you know, was embarrassed that night. I also think AJ was damaged. And I think he has that soldier boy mentality of, you know, well, hey, you know, nothing's wrong with me. I was fine. But obviously you weren't, because you got caught with a shot and you never recovered. You know what I mean? And Andy hits hard, but he doesn't hit that hard for you to be damaged throughout, unless you were damaged before you went in there. And talking about quitting on your feet, you know, he was looking for the ref to put the mouthpiece back in, but he was also trying to buy some time. And in that particular time, he didn't have that time, you know, to have. Okay, so with Anthony Joshua got beat up unexpectedly because he was already damaged, I think. It hasn't been confirmed. I'm waiting for this damn book. I guess we're going to have to wait until he retires or whatever. But nonetheless, you know, did AJ quit? I don't think he quit. I just think he just wasn't prepared. You know what I mean? And a lot of people will think that. And of course, this is another tool by Carl the Cobra. But again, you guys tell me what you think of Carl going in 2 times on Anthony Joshua. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!